It's the first day of voting in the election for the European Parliament. The vote is starting in the Netherlands today before branching out to the full 27 nations in the bloc. CBC senior international climate correspondent Susan Ormston joins us now from Amsterdam. Susan, what's at stake in these European elections?
Well, we're standing on the canal in Amsterdam in front of a polling booth. You can see a steady stream of voters going in to cast their vote for the European elections. And, you know, Europeans are worried about security with the war in Ukraine. They're worried about things like cost of living, aren't we all? And also they're worried about climate, whether this election will produce legislation that will be weakened or strengthened. The key battle, though, in these European elections is whether we're going to see voters overall shift to the right. Far-right parties are leading in at least 9 countries, including here in the Netherlands, where a far-right party won the most vote in national elections just 7 months ago. And we caught up with the leader of the PVV, a nationalist party here. Geert Wilder is the leader, and he was out campaigning for candidates he hopes will do well in Europe as well. What's your message to the West and from Canada?
Well, the West is waking up. You see parties like mine growing and having increased popularity all over the European Union. So the people are waking up. So I hope for them to stay awake and make the next coming days are crucial to the future of Europe. Will it be with more open borders and immigration, or will it be a lot tougher and with more, as I said, not an expansion of the European Union, but returning to the capitals of the legislative powers?
The European Green Party is projected to lose some seats in this next European Parliament. They had a really good win back in 2015. It was called a green wave, but it's a much paler shade of green, the sentiment this year. I mean, you have Germans arguing over heat pumps, Austrians arguing over a carbon tax, and farmers here in the Netherlands arguing over climate restrictions on their farming practices. So we caught up and spoke with the head of the European Green Party at a campaign rally.
I mean, these elections basically will determine the future of Europe's climate policies. We've been at the forefront of climate policies. The Green Deal in 2019 really started as a green economic agenda. And what you see now is that the far right is trying to pretend that all the problems of Europe are because of that. They always need a scapegoat, and the Green Deal is the scapegoat. So I think that these elections, these European elections, will determine: will you get a stronger Europe? Will you vote more progressive?
So, Susan, when will we know the results and what they actually mean?
Well, the Netherlands is voting first, and then the 26 other countries vote throughout the weekend. Sunday night, we should have some results. The impact will be felt once the new parliament is assembled and once all these parties find their coalition, their alliances. That's how it works. But many people we've spoken to here in Amsterdam, a fairly liberal city, are very worried about the impacts on climate, about the threats to the European Green Deal. One voter this morning, Laura Kitts, stopped to talk to us. She's an activist and a singer, and she said this threat to climate policy is reason enough to get out and vote.
I think it's incredibly dangerous to label science as hysteria. I don't understand how someone could think that way. We are not doing nearly enough to stick to the Paris Agreement, which we as a country have signed. So we have to do much more to halt, the worst. I mean, this city, almost this entire country, is below sea level. I mean, we'll have serious issues if we don't stop climate change right now, or do whatever we can, at least.
So what we're watching is really what is the pan-European sentiment? And will the EU emerge as a stronger voice, or will it be weakened and fragmented by nationalist and far-right parties?